Hi everyone, I'm Carla.
And I'm Lanes. And together, we're the Aft Deck,
Where each week we recap an episode of Bravo's hit reality TV show,
Below Deck. If you drink too much alcohol, you are.
Addicted.
If you have too many drugs, you are.
Addicted.
What hit you in the face last night?
Addicted! Love it, Lanes. Tonight we're talking about Below Deck Season 10, Episode 9, The Diary of a Deckie. In this episode, Camille gives us the best You're Fired departure and exit interview of any Below Deck season yet. Hayley develops cankles. Rachel comes under fire in the galley. And Captain Sandy flexes her kick-ass captain muscles. So, we've been talking about this for weeks. What happens, Lanes?
Camille's gone. Well, goes.
She takes a long freaking time to exit.
It's 8:30 a.m. and she's finally let Camille go. Captain Sandy explains that she needs harmony on the boat.
Yes, nice. Camille tries to cling on for a brief moment, and then when she sees Sandy's like stone cold, like this is happening, she's like, fuck.
Camille's eyes just went so huge, like, what? Like it was a shock.
She can't believe she's been fired. And then we get this all these snippets of Captain Sandy having work conversations with Camille. Like Sandy's like, I have talked to her like at least 10 times.
Yep.
So how can it be a surprise to Camille?
So one thing that Captain Sandy says is a part of the reason why she's being fired is that every department head has spoken to her about her behaviour.
Yeah, she clings onto that.
She gets that. And what does she do? Goes to every fucking department head and we just see it.
Yeah.
She leaves. The first one to get it?
Rachel.
I love how Rachel handles it.
Rachel's has zero tolerance for this shit. They have a bit of a back and forth. Rachel starts to engage and then she can just see there's no point in engaging with Camille.
No, and she move on to the next department
Off
head,
you
please.
go.
That's it. I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. We all did say something. Go.
Yeah.
Fraser's next.
Fraser is next, but backing up just a bit. When Camille finally realised it was actually happening, I loved what she said to Sandy. She goes, as she's leaving the bridge, all right, well, it's been nice knowing you and I appreciate everything, but this right here is debauchery. And off she trots.
Do you reckon she practiced it?
Oh, I don't know. She did spend a long time picking her exit outfit.
I loved that.
Yeah. So her and Fraser.
Yeah, they hug. It's a hug and a chat.
It's probably one of the times that I've seen him have the most honest and open conversation with her.
Yep.
About her work.
As she's leaving.
Yeah. He's like, finally, I can be honest.
Because he's not going to get any kickback.
No.
She's leaving, so I can finally tell her what I think.
Yeah.
Wrong, Fraser. Cut to Alyssa in the laundry singing. She's singing. She's like in a Disney movie.
Was she making something up? Or was it a
she
song
was. No, she was making it up, but she's happy as Larry down there. And Camille's upstairs like angry, doing her departure tour.
I think she is. She is, because after Fraser, she goes, right, I'm going to go find people who actually like me. And where did she go?
To the deck.
Deck crew.
Today's my last day, she says, as she's walking up.
And everyone knows Ben's like, what happened?
Yeah. Even he wasn't like, what?
No one's shocked. And she tries to reel Ross in.
I loved what he said here.
You've got a problem with me too, Ross. What is it?
He's like, I don't have time, but socially we're good.
Yeah, and off he trots.
Socially we're fine. Don't worry about it. I just don't have time for your shit.
Yeah, Ross is really concerned about how much time left they've got before the charter. He's all about, come on.
Yeah, it's minimal time and they've got to get everything done. And, oh, Ben.
He doesn't have time for any of it. No. Ross, I mean. He's like, we've got work to do. Like, get a tissue and move on.
So Fraser's really upset.
He's genuinely upset. I did
too.
Fraser.
Yeah. Hayley comforts him, which is really nice. And this is the start, I think, of the bond that we see between them. Finally, we're getting more Hayley and Fraser time, Fraser outside of Camille.
Yes, and we know what's coming because we've seen it, as some of you all have. But
it blossoms.
Once Camille and Alyssa get out of the picture, like that whole thing.
Fight and relationship.
Then we get to see Hayley, Fraser and Rachel come to the fore and shine.
Yeah, it's great.
She says bye to Ben.
Well, they're in their cabin. Not their cabin. He's in Camille's cabin.
He's crying.
They're chatting and he gets upset and Camille thinks it's really sweet. And it is really sweet. He is very sweet.
He just wanted that date.
Now, this next bit cracks me up, but it shouldn't have.
When Sandy got wind that Camille was probably taking too long, she knocks on the door, though, and Camille goes, who is it? Sandy just, boom, she's straight in there. Who's your cabin mate? So she calls Katie on the radio to get down there and help Camille because she's like, Camille, I need you off this boat. I've got a charter.
Sorry, but you got to go. And the next bit, here's the first chiming in of Alyssa. She was rude. She didn't do her job. She's toxic as fuck. Bye. She's like no cares at this point. None.
But wait.
She keeps going on about how toxic she was, how much of a bitch she was, remembering that she had no problem voicing that. And later on in this episode, we'll see why.
Yeah.
I'm having a bit of a rant right now.
Exactly. Anyway, Camille picks a banging exit look and then she's off. She's looking for Ben.
Tony feels bad for Ben.
He does, but he's happy he's going to get some sleep.
Yeah, not that bad that he's not going to hear the boom, 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 boom. It's 10:30 a.m., 90 minutes before charter, and Fraser talks to Hayley and Alyssa and tells them that he's thinking this trip's going to be pretty easy. The primary doesn't drink. His wife is pregnant. I think there's another pregnant lady on board. So there's 2 pregnant women. They look like they're just out for a chill, relaxing time on the luxury yacht.
Boring as batshit is
pretty
what it
much
looks like it's going to be.
So it's 10:40 and the provisions are on the dock. Ben's still sad. Ross comes around and says he gets it, but, you know, mate, we've got to get this job done. So Ben brings down some provisions to the downstairs area and Alyssa says hi to him and he just blanks her.
Oh, yes.
Completely ignores her and I'm like, yes, Ben. But I'm not condoning that behaviour, but yes, Ben. And then Ben talks to camera and says how Alyssa was always putting Camille down. He's in her bad books for the rest of eternity. The thing that I thought was really funny was he brings a whole heap of water, like, down and just literally throws it in her arms. It's up to her chin. Like, what do you call it? Like the things of water.
Like a crate or...
Like a crate, yeah. So that just in her arms, it's up to her freaking neck. And she nearly falls over. Like she stumbles. And I'm like, I've never seen this side of you, Ben. You are pissed.
And before, I mean, he's back off up the stairs.
Yeah.
Before she's even stumbled.
He doesn't give a shit.
No.
No regard. I think she gets it. The start of her getting it.
This is where she turns immediately.
Oh, yeah. She's got to fix it. In her head, she's like, fuck, I've got to fix this.
Yeah.
Because now everyone knows that pretty much I infiltrated everything here.
Yes.
And I made it kind of happen. So we're finally, as we said before, getting more of the gorgeous Hayley, and I'm here for it.
Love it.
But what's wrong with her foot?
Cankles. Sandy didn't know what they were.
No, that was cute.
It must be a Aussie English thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Have you ever had cankles?
No.
Oh. I only had them when pregnant.
Well, that's okay.
I'm sure you have. Actually, I know you have delicately slender ankles. Fraser says he also has cankles, but he definitely doesn't.
No, he's trying to hide his impeccably slim ankles underneath a napkin.
He's got like colt-like legs.
Yeah. He's beautiful. Everything about him.
Yeah. Flawless.
So she needs a doctor.
Yeah, she's a bit
worried.
worried.
Would you call the medic? Because it's swollen.
Yeah, she's not worried about the cankle, but then what happens later is the toe goes numb.
Yeah.
That's when she gets worried.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, she wants to call the doc then.
Captain Sandy sees Ben.
Yeah, gives him a big hug.
I know. She says, I'm sorry and I'm sure you'll stay in touch and come and talk to me anytime.
Yeah.
Do you know what, in those moments that we saw, and we've talked about how much we love Captain Sandy, but here is where she shows us how amazing she is as a leader and a person.
Exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
So she goes to Ben and she helps him in this time, knowing that he's going to be really sad. She lifts his spirits up. She's the one that's done it.
I know.
But she handles it so well.
I know.
And she shines as a leader here. And I think that this is how to be respected, not necessarily as a friend.
Yeah.
So you know how Fraser was like trying to be their friends? I think he needs to take some notes from Captain Sandy's book because this is how you do it. Everybody likes her. They respect her, but they're not their friends.
Yeah.
And Fraser needs to kind of find that, and it's a really hard line to find. I think you've got to be really talented actually to do that. Not many people are good leaders.
No.
She showed immense care for him then and didn't cross a line. It's 15 minutes before the charter. Ben's getting ready in his cabin and he is still feeling it.
Is he sniffling at this stage?
Yeah, and I just can't deal with it. I'm so sad for him. Like you just want to cuddle him.
Mm. I'm Ross, no sympathy. I do have sympathy for Ben. But
Yeah,
I'm
just like you'd laugh if I fell over.
I'm like, you've had your moment, job to do, zip it up, let's move on.
You're not like my boss.
No.
She lets me cry.
No, I wouldn't not let him cry. Ross isn't not letting him cry.
You literally just said,
What did I
get
say?
on with the job. It's enough.
But you
is he
can
still
cry.
sniffling?
I don't have a problem with it.
Rewind.
Okay, I said it. I said it. You're right, I said it.
So there's a lot of where's Ben?
Yes.
Where's Ben?
I need Ben.
Where's Ben?
This is how we also know Ross fucking relies on him for everything.
Good point.
Because Ross says 100 times, where's Ben? I need him. Where's Ben? Where's Ben? I'm like, Ross,
You got 2 other Deckies.
what's your problem? Aren't you ready? Like you'd be ready to go by now.
You're so right. I hadn't even thought of it like that.
I mean, he could say, hey, Tony, hey, Katie, rally.
Yeah.
Ben
Ben's-
needs a moment.
Yeah.
I need this, and this, and
And
I'll
it's not
do
like
this.
he had a lot of time to have the moments.
No,
there wasn't a lot of time between the exit and
8:30.
guests arriving. Yeah.
So she left at 8:30.
And it's midday. They arrived. That's not a lot of time for a broken heart. Oh, Carla. Are you the Tin Man?
Quite possibly. I've been known to be the tin lady, I can tell you.
So because the non-alcoholics are coming, they make an elderflower and lemon sparkling water.
Nice.
I think that'd be nice.
That's for him, the primary, who's a non-drinker. That's for the wife who's not drinking because she's pregnant.
Yeah. Did I say non-alcoholics?
I think you did, which is funny. And for all you other alcoholics, champagne.
Oh, and that sounds lovely, to be honest. It's 2:30 and it's toy time. Diary of a Deckie. Thanks, Tony.
Yeah, Tony had the episode
call.
today.
Yes.
I enjoyed that.
So did I. Fraser feels like everything on board is going well, even down a stew.
Okay, I need to check something with you. So Rachel's prepping lunch and all the guests are sitting around the table kind of waiting. The primary sat down, the wife sat next to him. Kooky guest. Yes. I'm going to call her Kooky because I don't know what her name is, but she's kooky.
She's really kooky.
She walks up to the table and does the primary say, "Oh, the Cuntosaurus has arrived." What did I miss? Because it was bleeped. It was
a saurus.
C, bleep, then cross, asaurus.
Yeah.
Cuntosaurus.
Yeah. That's
what, we can't say that on TV?
No.
I was joking.
What? Not even SBS.
What did I miss? Why is he calling her the Cuntosaurus?
I don't know, because she didn't seem like one. She just seemed, like you said, kooky.
Kooky.
She didn't seem like that to me.
Okay, so everything's going smoothly. Everyone's happy except Ben. And now we get tears from Alyssa. Who is she tearing to this time?
Normally she's so confident and fine, but her stomach is bubbling. And she's like, at this point, in my opinion, looking for allies. She's starting her narrative.
Yeah.
So pre-Camille, we saw an Alyssa that didn't give a fuck, said awful things, was rude. And now we see an Alyssa that's concerned, worried,
Everyone's talking about
teary.
me.
And in her eyes, it's totally not her fault. It's so obvious and it's annoying.
And she's worried because, Ben's giving her the cold shoulder. She thinks everyone, she's worried that everyone's going to do the same
Katie,
thing.
yeah, and Katie was also her roommate. So I think she's starting now. And all the Deckies liked her.
Yeah.
So
really, she's only got Hayley and Fraser.
yeah, she got what she wanted though. Isn't it funny when you get what you want and then sometimes you go, fuck, maybe actually I shouldn't have been such an asshole, but I don't think she thinks like that.
Well, stay tuned, peeps, because she'll get her comeuppance.
Yes, she will. Dinner is set for 9 o'clock and it is 8:25 p.m.
Rachel's worried about her timing, though.
She should be.
8-course tasting menu? She's not going to cut corners.
No, she definitely won't. The guests are seated at 9:10 and Captain Sandy joins them tonight. One of the guests, the primary, actually turns around to Sandy and says that his non-alcoholic drink is so good he's feeling tipsy.
Yeah. And this is where Sandy tells us she's 30 years sober.
Yeah, which is amazing because she said that partying and alcohol for her was trouble with a big T and life got better when she stopped. So well done. That's a big effort.
Life got better. Look at the fuck where she is now. Like,
she's killing it.
she's like, woohoo. She's flying.
The entree. Miso soup is first, inspired by Japan. The guests were told to use a serviette to pour the soup.
Because it's hot.
Because it's hot.
Kooky guest spills it because it's too hot. And Sandy says, oh, I'm sorry. Yep, they should have poured it for you. Next time we'll pour it for you. Fine.
I agree.
Whatever.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think they should have, but they didn't. Whatever. Like, maybe it was like interactive for them.
Yeah.
Like, let's get involved.
Exactly.
Like teppanyaki.
Yeah.
Catch an egg.
On the face. Because I can't catch anything in my
your
mouth.
Oh.
Not even herpes.
It's a shame. Alyssa.
Not even a piece of popcorn. It's not a skill that I have. I can't.
Oh, great.
I can't throw anything in the air and catch it with my mouth. Can you?
Well, no, it's not like a talent that I've got, but like I think that I'd probably be able to do it. I think we need to do this next time.
Let's get the popcorn in the booth.
So Alyssa was cleaning the table up from the soup spill. She immediately goes downstairs to Hayley, says one of the guests just poured her miso all over the table and tells Hayley what Captain Sandy said. So basically next time we should be pouring that miso soup for our guests. And she's like, oh, yeah, so it's my fault that she spilled her fucking drink. And I'm like,
no, that wasn't what she meant at all.
no.
Classic Alyssa.
Classic.
So Kooky asks Sandy what religion she is. And Sandy says she's non-denominational. I had to Goog that. Did you know what that means?
Yeah.
Okay. Open or acceptable to people of any Christian denomination.
Basically means she's not religious.
Oh, okay.
But she's not an atheist.
Right, okay.
So she's like, she's accepting of religion, but she just doesn't practice it, is what I take from non-denominational.
But then didn't she say, I get on my knees morning and night?
Yeah.
Or did she say, I don't get on my knees morning
I thought
and
she
night?
said she did, and that's why I'm like, she's a spiritual, she has faith, she just doesn't believe in a certain thing.
Yeah.
Is what I took from that.
Yeah. And so Kooky says, well, I get on my knees all the time. And then her husband says, you never get on your knees. And I don't know if you caught this, but right behind him is Fraser trying to like interject and say something like, oh, the next course is ready, or can I clear that? If you watch it back, you'll see Fraser's face just be like, okay, I'm waiting for my moment. I'm waiting for my moment. And then Kooky turns to her husband and says, he's a fucking disgusting little man, really loud. And Fraser's face just goes,
It was really awkward.
they've got issues.
Huge.
Maybe that's why she got the AirPods out later to
Jesus,
block out
I
her
can't
husband.
It was so funny.
Anyway, I'm jumping ahead. Okay, so
Ceviche is served.
Caribbean ceviche with Scotch bonnet sauce. Fucking hot. That's a sexy little noise you made there, Lance. Can you do that again for me?
No.
Carla Lane's husband. Carla Lane's husband. Go. Do it.
I don't know if I can do it again. Rachel asks Alyssa if they're okay with spicy.
And Alyssa says, yeah, they all like it. Yep.
Yep.
Straight under the bus because none of them can take it.
They're coughing. They're like,
which
can't breathe. Captain Sandy can't even, she stops, she leaves the table.
Yeah. She goes to the stew pantry and she's like, oh, it's so hot. They can't eat it. They can't eat it. They're really complaining. It's too hot. Rachel wants to retire. She hates her life. She says everyone's different. Some people's piss smells after asparagus. Get over it.
Some doesn't.
Turkish stuffed dates.
Yeah.
They love it. I wouldn't.
I wouldn't like. I have had stuffed dates before with like goat's cheese and bacon wrapped around. That was delicious. But I don't know. I'd try it. It's now 56 minutes since dinner started. They love all the next few courses. It kind of rolls through the next few courses. They don't really show everything.
Yeah.
And then they go to 10:24, 1 hour, 9 minutes since dinner started. I know we don't get to see everything that they record, and I know editing happens, but the dinner conversation was really random.
Well, Kookie's husband, Sandy, you have great teeth, by the way.
She's like, thank you.
I mean, she does, but he's weird. This guy's weird and she's kooky.
I know, saved by the next meal.
Kookie's got AirPods in.
Oh, God.
At the table. And one of the guests says, wait, are you listening to music? Have you got AirPods in? And she's like, yeah, well, I'm not going to sit here and listen to crickets. Fuck that. I love how, like, direct she is. Maybe that's why she's called Cuntosaurus. I don't know. I want to know more.
Actually, yeah, that's a good, that probably is. But good on her. She was bored. So she's got an earpod in. And the husband says something like she was, like, on another planet or she's something. Now, this is a long dinner. Yeah, it's long.
She starts saying, how long have we been here? It feels like breakfast. When will it end? And she was kind of joking. Like she was serious but joking. Like she wasn't pissed off. She was just making fun of the situation. Yeah. But Sandy took that.
That was her cue.
She was like, right, I'm out of here. I'm going to hurry them up and I'm going to go the fuck to bed. 2 hours into dinner service, we have course 5, Italian ravioli.
Yeah.
They love it though.
Yeah.
Rachel's over it. So's Kookie. She's off.
She's gone to another deck, dancing by herself and making noises.
Yes. It's midnight and they all go to bed except for Kookie.
Yeah, she stays up.
Did you see what time she went to bed?
No.
2:20 a.m.
Good on her. Ben's on the bridge.
Oh, I loved this bit.
Yes.
I loved this bit. He gets a call on the radio from the nearest vessel. The captain from that boat is like, we want you to move because we're pretty close to you guys. And Ben's like, all right, I'll get back to you. Wakes up Sandy. She comes onto the bridge and she's like looking around, what, that boat? And she's like, get the captain on the radio.
This is the captain. I hear you have some concerns. And he explains the wind sitch, you know, that they're going to stretch their anchor between 10 to 20 metres of view. So if the wind picks up, this is what's going to happen. You know, we'll be close, which isn't particularly safe. So she tells him we have someone on watch. If that happens, we'll just handle it.
He says, well, that's an interesting response. Very disappointing. I'm surprised you're comfortable with that.
This whole conversation annoyed me. So she tells him if he's really nervous about it, just haul your anchor and move on.
Big old fuck off. And he says, well, I can't. The guests are enjoying their time. If you appreciate that, you'll move.
That would be the fair and thoughtful thing to do, he said. And she's like, yeah, I understand. We've got guests too, but we're not moving. We're staying here, so we'll be standing by.
And he's like, well, hopefully we don't talk again tonight.
Oh, my God. Ben is smiling from ear to ear and says he was seeing what you were made of there, wasn't he, Kat?
Yeah, and she's like, oh, fuck. Ben, I've had this my whole entire life. This is nothing. Some fucking captain mansplaining to me about an anchor chain and a wind and thinking his boat's going to hit into mine.
So I noted down the times and the knots. So 3 a.m., 3 knots, 4:12, 5 knots, 4:30, 3 knots, 5:30, 4 knots.
They should have put Sandy waking up in the morning, coming out of the bridge, looking at the boat over there and giving another big one finger saying, I hope you had a good night's sleep, because I did. Speaking of, it is morning.
7 a.m.
Fraser and Ross are having a little chat. Fraser's like, so what's going on with you and Katie? Is it on? Is it off? And Ross is like, well, yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit lost. I want non-complicated sex, but I don't think it's possible on this boat. And then Ross sort of thinks for a moment and then he goes, well, like it's a 6-week charter. It's almost like having a whole relationship. Fraser's like, 6 weeks? Okay. Okay, Ross. The guests are up and having brekkie. Hayley gets her cankle inspected. Ibuprofen, ice and elevation. Nothing wrong with her foot. She says, I'm a massive dramatised bitch.
I love that she doesn't take herself too seriously. She's fun. She can take the piss. Like, okay, I got the medic on for Nurofen. Captain Sandy calls for Rachel to meet her on the bridge. Rachel comes up and she's like chatting away. Asks if she can sit down because, she stands up all day and she's like, yeah, it's fine. While Sandy's looking out at the water and Rachel's just like, yep. And Sandy's like, yep, I've got a question for you. Like just
straight to the point.
The timing of the food.
Don't do it.
And then Rachel's like, it was an 8-course dinner. Well, don't do 8 courses. Do 3 well.
Yeah.
She wasn't saying that the 8 weren't well, but like you can't sit there for that long.
No. And she also says the communication needs to be better between service and galley.
That was a good point though.
Yeah. And that's what we usually see. We see
yes,
they're clearing now. We're serving water and wine now, like a lot more but I don't know if it happens and we don't see it. I don't know.
Yeah, but we've not seen it at all.
We haven't. You're right.
So Rachel takes that feedback really well and she's going to strive to do better.
Sandy's like, entree Italy, main Spain, dessert France, do 3.
I know, so good.
And then Rachel goes, okay, I'm gonna go schlep out some food then. Like it was a nice little backhand to finish with. The crew are setting up for the beach picnic.
Yeah. Fraser tells Hayley that he's going to be away for quite some time and the cabins need doing.
Oh my God. Did you see this beach picnic setup?
Yes.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
Remember last week's?
Oh, cigarette butts, horses,
the
dogs,
shithole that
cars.
Sandy picked.
So Fraser and Ross head off on the tender and we get our first wakata from Tony.
Oh, I missed it.
Yes, it's the first one. Shuckers, mate.
Is he on the boat and saying it?
No, he's saying it to them as they depart.
Oh, I totally missed it.
Oh, I loved it. Makes me smile.
I think I've got to go back and watch it.
Yeah, it makes me smile. So I guess they're heading
We still
over.
don't know what that means for real, do we?
No, we don't.
It's not Googleable. I've tried.
I know.
Okay, the guests get to the beach and the pregnant lady is starving. She's so starving she's borderline going to kill someone. I get that. When you're pregnant and you're hungry, you're going to rip someone's arm off.
Yeah, well, the primary turns around to Fraser and says, Louisa needs food. Get her food.
Yeah.
So then he calls through and says, how long is food? Primary's hungry. Sandy hears it. She's like, fuck off. Not this again.
She goes to the galley to help Rachel.
But there's like nothing prepared.
No. Rachel hates her life.
I'm shocked and dismayed.
Why wouldn't you just, when you're taking the guests over, surely you've got drinks with them on board because you're going to serve them drinks. Why wouldn't you just throw in
Cheese.
chips, cheese,
crackers, grapes,
dips, nuts,
some 80s sun-dried tomatoes.
And I know Rachel spends 45 minutes making a charcuterie board or a cooter board.
Don't need to. I can whack one at 5 minutes and it looks amazing.
Give it to the stews or the deck crew and say, when you get there, chuck it out and make it look like a charcuterie board and everyone's happy. So that's it for this episode. We just get this big later this season coming up on. So we get a snippet for all the episodes from here on out.
And it's full on.
We've got killer guests, beauty queens.
Oh, yeah, the beauty queens.
Fire twirling, cross-dressing, ass slapping, boat Olympics, body mud with the crew day off. God, that was
sexy.
Steamy. We've got Sandy busting up with Fraser. and getting back together again. He's the stinking head of a fish or something.
Fish rots at the head, mate.
That's it. Does it though?
Yeah, I use that a lot. Fish rots at the head.
Is that because the brain and the eye? Like, why is that? You're a boat lady, you know. Or a fisher person, whatever it is.
Yes, I come from a fishing family. We don't get seasick.
And a new stew arrives who Ben knows. And the last one is we see Captain Lee returning. So we've got all that to look forward to, folks. Stay tuned for all that shenanigans.
Thanks for listening.
Bye for now.
Bye. In my pajamas.
It's a onesie. She's wearing a fucking hot.
I came in my pajamas. I came in my pajamas tonight thinking that no one would see me but Carla, but people did.
And I'm just telling her they're cool pajamas. She could just pretend she's wearing a really cool jumpsuit.
I'm always going to wear my pajamas.
Great. Me too.
Good. If you'd like to follow us on Insta, come over to theaftdeckpod.
Or send us an email on theaftdeckpod@gmail.com. We'd love to know what you think about the show and what you'd like us to cover for upcoming seasons.